after singing Kumbaya, or trying to sing it, and having everything that is in my brain and my voice and my singing pooped up as if somebody was squeezing the top of my brain somewhere and completely disrupting the tune to Kumbaya, which I've known my whole life, especially in French, and sung with group after group of children, and it's been so beautiful. I guess this is about the time to talk about the destruction of the temple. Somebody was informed me a while back about somebody else who they called a bad German. And of course, having the bad German over your head and sort of realizing they're there, but not quite getting how to deal with it, because how rude to have to deal with that. I mean, you know, and how much trouble you could get in if you dealt with it inappropriately, because nobody believes in spirituality here. Not that you could see, or, you know, right? The Boys from Brazil. I was on Huffington Post a few years back, and we always discuss The Boys from Brazil. My father watched it with us. The Boys from Brazil 2, I don't know the part, you know, where they're, the dogs come at them and chew them to bits. Maybe it's a different movie altogether, but it was about the Boys from Brazil, wasn't it? I don't know, maybe it was one of my dreams. But it wasn't those two men in the room. I mean, I've seen that one too. I'm completely thinking of something else. But the Boys from Brazil were supposed to be all this one clone, I guess, one genetic makeup of a boy created in a test tube and put out all over the world. Nobody said they had to be nice looking or thin or kind or good or you know, appropriate. They were there to take over the world. And like maternal and fraternal twins, twins who are identical and fraternal, or twins who are not identical, non-identical, and I always say my grandfather and his brother were non-identical, but they were non-identical when they grew up, but they may have been born identical. The amount of how much that was discussed back in the day, we probably just went ahead and said what it looked like by the time we were older. But you can see a resemblance, particular person in particular, but it's not to say that there's only one year that they put out Boys from Brazil, or Boys from anywhere, really. You know, Albuquerque, if the Nazis had a stronghold there that nobody knew about. Doesn't have to be all one family, although they could make it look like it's all one family. But when you're walking around and you meet the same person over and over and over again, different weights, different heights, I mean, who's to say they're not coming in to an unsuspecting wife? Because this was one a bunch of us were worried about a few years ago, is the military or some military, what did they call those? Rationalists? Not rationalists, but you know what I'm talking about, the out to lunch groups. Radical. Taking our husband and put him away, or he was really coming from some of these groups down here somewhere where we didn't know what it was, and putting different people in our home. Similar enough. One guy talking them, or a few different people, or enough people that you couldn't really tell anyway, and give up for fear of being wrong, or just confusion, or just politeness, or pity, because you're not really sure how to deal with it, and you deal with it based on what you were taught to deal with, because aren't we well socialized? Perfect to welcome Nazis into our fold. But they're all out there, and so you see one guy, he does this, and one guy, and he's a financial expert, and another guy, and he falls through a roof in the States a few years ago, so that's one gone. And then another guy, he drives around in a particular truck, but he's not the same one that you knew here, because I'm starting to see my husband doing the same thing. And then you see another guy down in South Africa, and he got killed a few years ago, but the same face pops up and up over and over, and the one that, you know, sadly you're not supposed to ever want anyone gone, but sometimes, I mean, God says he takes your enemies for you. Sometimes it's just a blessing if some people are gone. But what if there's more of that going around, and it's being put into lives of unsuspecting Canadians, true Canadians? O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.